So we were discussing about the characteristics of DC motors. There we have already studied about DC shunt motor characteristics. Now we shall learn about the DC series motor. So how a series motor will be there? A series winding and armature will be in series. Okay, the series field winding and armature will be in series. IA is equal to ISE is equal to IL. So what is V? V must be equal to EB plus IA into RA plus RSE. So these things you know. Now we shall go back to the characteristics. How a characteristic look like and its applications. Okay, we shall see that. See now TA bar IA characteristics. What is the torque equation? We know torque equation is equal to 1 by 2 pi into phi z into IA into P by A, right? Yes, 1 by 2 pi into phi z into IA into P by A. So in series motor, as I told, as you change the load, the series current also changes because it comes in series. IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL. So if you change the load, phi also changes. So it is a variable. IA is a variable, Z is constant, P is constant, A is constant. But the flux is directly proportional to IA. The flux changes proportionality with respect to IA. If the magnitude of the current increases, flux obviously increases. So instead of phi, can I write IA? So TA is directly proportional to IA square of the load. The TA increases square of the load. So it will be, the characteristic will be like this. The characteristic will be like this. How? It should obey this equation. TA is directly proportional to IA. So now TA in Newton meter and IA in amperes. So it will go like this, and this is the maximum point at which it will, the TA is developed. The maximum TA that is developed is this point. Beyond this it cannot withstand. It will lose its stability. So IA, as till here the torque increases, though if the load is increased, if the torque is increased, the current will not increase further. It loses its stability. It dismantles everything. So from this what you can learn, if there is any change in the load, square of the current it will changes. Means if there is a requirement of huge load changes, suddenly if there is a load of 20 kg, if 20 kg of load is to be lifted, suddenly rise it to 40 kg, there is a drastic change in the torque. You cannot use shunt motor. You have to use series motor, because even if you double the the load to be driven, to be lifted, you can have a good characteristic. So otherwise what will happen? The current will in the shunt motor you cannot use it, because it's a constant speed characteristics and constant load characteristic it has. So this is not, it will vary squarely in square of the armature current torque. So the current will rise double, even if in this case you can use the series motor. So now we shall go to speed versus armature current characteristic. What is speed versus armature current characteristic? Shall go to that now. Speed versus armature current characteristic. It is we have already learnt EB is directly proportional to N into phi. N into phi. So N is directly proportional to EB divided by phi, right? So N is directly proportional to V minus IA into RA plus RSE divided by phi. I am taking consideration of phi. Why? Because the flux will be varying with respect to load in series motor. That's why I am taking the consideration of flux here. So if there is any change in the armature current or the load, there is not much significant change in the speed, but there is the change in the flux, there is a significant change in the speed, because phi is directly proportional to Ia, due to which n will have significant change. N is inversely proportional to 1 by phi. N is inversely proportional to Ia because phi is directly proportional to Ia. So it will have an inverse characteristic. Which one? Speed versus Ia. Inverse characteristic. So now you can write like this. Yes, speed versus. So it will go like this. So this is speed and this is Ia in amperes. Speed in RPM. Speed versus Ia characteristic is inverse characteristic. Inverse characteristic. If you increase the current, speed will drastically drops. If you decrease the current or the load, speed will drastically increases. So from this characteristic you can learn that you should never run a DC series motor on no load. You should connect a load to the DC series motor. Otherwise, what will happen if you don't connect a load to the DC motor? The current will be almost near to zero. The speed of the motor will be beyond the control. It is very high. It will lose its stability. So you always try to run the series motor with load. Never run a series motor without load. Yes, correct. With load you have to run DC series motor. You have to connect some load. Otherwise, it will lose its stability and speed will drastically increases beyond the control. Okay, so this is about speed versus current characteristic. Now speed versus TA characteristics, speed versus torque characteristics. How it will be there? So we know the torque equation. TA is directly proportional to 1 by 2 pi into phi into Z into Ia into P by A, right? Yes. So phi is not a constant, Z is a constant in case of series motor, P and I are constant, but Ia is directly proportional to phi, so it is directly proportional to Ia square. So this is already discussed, right? Now we are discussing n into TA. So n into TA, because this what we have learnt, this is regarding n into V minus Ia into Ra plus Rac divided by phi. So here, since TA is directly proportional to Ia square, so n is inversely proportional to the square root of TA. Okay, square root of TA. How? Because phi is directly proportional to Ia, n is inversely proportional to Ia, but from this equation TA is directly proportional to Ia square, but Ia is directly proportional to the square root of TA, so n is inversely proportional to the square root of TA. So again it will have an inverse characteristic. where there is no constant speed application, where there is a sudden load, where there is a high starting torque is needed, there you can use a series motor. Where elevators, lifts and elevators are same, cranes, in chippers means suddenly wood logs will be fed, you have to chip into small pieces. For that again there is already some load, so in such a case you need high torque, so you can use a series motor. So TA bar, N bar, TA also goes like this, inverse characteristic. So this is all about series motor. And if you take compound motor, it is also have the similar type of characteristics. As we have already told, differentially compounded motor will not have any applications, so it is ruled out. Only cumulatively compounded will have almost near to the characteristics of a series motor. So it will have TA bar IA like this. And what about N bar IA? N bar IA is like this, and N bar TA is also like this. This is all about compound motor. So we have learnt about the characteristics of the DC motors and its applications. Okay, this concludes the syllabus of DC motors. We shall see the numerical problems. Thank you.